Thursday evening's Board of Education meeting, members voted to approve Site Plan Option 3 for a New Lebanon Elementary School. With Option 3, a new building would be constructed in the wooded area or ravine next to the current school. This plan was approved by the New Leb Building Committee on January 15th after the Board of Selectmen rejected Option 1 because it did not fit within the municipal improvement outline they previously approved over the summer. Board of Ed member Peter Bernstein says this plan is a compromise with the selectmen.
I think the selectmen would move favorably on adopting this as the proposal that move forward with the MI process.
Board of Ed Chairman Laura Erickson says it is not a compromise when it comes to educational specifications. The board voted to include improvement of the William Street ball field in the building plan.
The gym would be actually accessible to the play field. It would make it usable.
The board also amended the site plan to include modular classrooms for the students to use during the construction phase. James Rique, the managing director of operations for Greenwich Public Schools, says including the modulars in the site plan will allow the district to be eligible for state funding. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight.
Syria might seem like it's a world away from us here, but to one Greenwich woman, helping Syrian refugees is a cause close to her heart. Monica Garrido, along with 4 other women all across the United States and London, are working to improve the lives of refugee children with their organization, One Refugee Child.
We are a humanitarian grassroots organization that raises funds to better the lives of refugee children.
Currently, One Refugee Child is concentrated on the children in Turkey and Greece.
They've faced traumatic circumstances in their lives. Their country is at war. They can't sleep at night because there's bombings, there's shellings, their neighbors are getting killed, and the parents choose to leave. They have no choice. So to choose to put your kids in danger, to leave something that's even worse, it's just, they have no choice. They have no choice but to make this dangerous trip from where they are to potentially a better life.
Garrido says refugees pay large amounts of money to take a raft out and away from danger. When they arrive in the new country, they live in tents in harsh conditions.
There's no heat, there's no electricity, there's been actually a lot of deaths from hypothermia.
One Refugee Child is currently working on a few different projects like collecting winter clothes, boots, blankets, and strollers for the refugees.
We started off with a stroller project. The goal is to raise $10,000, and we've raised $3,000 so far. We've handed out about 200 strollers.
One Refugee Child is also working with the psychologists at a camp named Pipka that focuses on recovery for families that have been broken apart and children who have lost their parents.
He's working with us to figure out what the children need to recover, to potentially be able to move on. The goal for that camp is $10,000 as well.
Garrido says they have contacts in Turkey and Greece who hand out all the items to the refugees. She believes the women involved in this organization are passionate about these children because they are all moms.
What if it were me? What if it were my children? What if right now there were a catastrophe outside and I had to just pick my kids up and walk out the door and go, get on a boat? So we're all driven beyond something that you can really put into words.
You can help refugee children by going to www.onerefugeechild.org and donating to the project of your choice or starting a fundraising campaign. Garrido also says you can spread awareness by liking the organization on social media and sharing posts. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. The YWCA of Greenwich celebrated and remembered the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Thursday evening, the day before what would have been his 87th birthday.
He wanted an end to racism. He said it's no good for society, it's no good for humanity, and it's just no good.
Dr. Mark Christian is a professor and the chair of African American Studies at Lehman College of City University of New York. He gave the keynote address.
I've done a lot of Dr. Martin Luther King talks. In fact, he's one of my historical heroes.
Christian says King worked to eliminate racism during the civil rights movement just as the YWCA does today.
We have strived for racial justice since our founding in 1858 in the United States, in Boston and New York City.
YWCA President and CEO Adrian Singer says that many strides have been made since King's death, but there is still work to be done.
You still can be killed for getting a pack of Skittles during a baseball game, or murdered in your church while you were praying, or racially profiled in your own vehicle and yanked to jail.
First Selectman Peter Tessie praised King's ability to protest peacefully, even with violence all around him.
And it is concerning that today people are not exercising that right in choosing violent means to make their points.
At a time of increasing senseless and horrific violence, the lesson of nonviolence has extraordinary power.
YWCA officials presented Greenwich High School students Kyla Johnson and Corey Myrtle with racial justice scholarships. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. It was a packed house at Dorothy Hamill Ice Rink on Monday afternoon as the undefeated Greenwich Cardinals hosted the Darien Blue Wave. It was a goalie showdown in the first period. Greenwich goalie Nick Bizzuto guards the net as the Blue Wave work the puck down ice here. Blue Wave goalie David Voigt also has a few nice saves in the first. Here he blocks this power play shot from Cal McKinney to keep it scoreless. Cardinals defense also comes up strong in the first period. Ben Prattley and Aiden Connerty knocked the puck away here, and it's 0-0 after one period. Blue Wave's Edward Glassmeyer had a second period to remember. The sophomore scored twice in less than 2 minutes. His first goal here, he takes it through the Greenwich D and places the deflected shot in the back of the net. Then Jake Kirby passes to Glassmeyer, who flicks it in to put the Blue Wave up 2-0. Darienne's Thomas Solger scores another goal in the third period, and the defending state and FCAC champions Darien shut the Cardinals out, winning 3-0. Next, Greenwich will take on West Hill Stanford at Terry Connors Rink on January 27th at 7:50 p.m. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. Members of the representative town meeting were sworn in on Tuesday night for the new term, and one of the newest members is also one of the youngest members of the RTM.
25 years old. I grew up in Rye Brook, New York, and I moved to Greenwich 2 years ago.
Granite Balademe's interest in the town was sparked after talking with a customer at his family's restaurant Alba's in Portchester.
He was asking me if I was looking to get involved, and I told him I was, and one step led to another, and here I am.
The RTM is made up of 232 people in 12 districts. The members are elected every 2 years, but some may not be able to complete a full term.
And they step down. And then it's up to each district to fill the vacancy that was created. Probably over the course of a term, probably every single district fills a vacancy at some point in time.
Valademe learned of one of these vacancies in District 10.
I went to the District 10 meeting, and I sat in on the meeting. They were kind enough to let me sit in. I sat off to the side, and once they finished their meeting, I sat at the table, and I gave a little speech, told them about myself and how I wanted to get involved. They voted there and then, and was fortunate to get elected.
Now he's a member of the RTM and says he's excited to bring fresh new ideas to the table.
It's a new generation, so it's good for us, fresh out of college, new ideas. Everyone wants to make a change, and it's good to get involved.
First Selectman Peter Tessie was elected to the RTM when he was just 18 years old and has some advice for current young members.
Do a lot of listening. Listening is one of the best ways to learn, and also by listening, you're in a position to later lead.
If you are interested in getting involved, you can check for vacancies at www.rtm.greenwich.org. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. It's January, and that means a new set of New Year's resolutions. For many people, those resolutions include getting healthier and losing a little bit of weight. Before you start a workout routine, make sure you are doing it at your own pace and staying safe.
Become aware of your body first before you start doing any challenging workout or any extreme movement.
The fitness industry doesn't lend itself to slow progression per se. It's almost like it's almost like we're chasing calories, so we always have to feel like we're moving.
Dominic Novak is the owner of Peak 360 in Greenwich. He uses a personalized workout to get people started on their weight loss journey.
Before you can go all out into a high intensity training program, what we do is we make you learn how to stay still, how to move with fluidity, and then from there you can sort of gain speed.
This personalized workout includes a nutritionist, massage therapist, and physical therapist.
Having physical therapy is just one way to kind of tweak yourself and kind of, make sure your things are all in alignment, the muscles are working right, and then you can go back to your usual activities, usual sports and workout.
Novak says once the body is working properly, harder workouts can begin.
It's just building them up to the point where they achieve things they never thought possible, but you can't do that overnight.
Peak 360 physical therapist Joanna Bacani suggests warming up and stretching your muscles before working out and staying hydrated so muscles can recover. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. The Bruce Museum has a new exhibit opening in collaboration with Hermes and Panthera to help conserve big cats all over the world.
It is a very worthy cause, and it makes kind of great good sense for us.
This project is really the victory of hope over despair in a world that seems to have gone mad. This is a glimmer of sunshine through the clouds.
French animal painter Robert Dallet worked with Hermes before his death in 2006.
I'm very happy and very proud to show his work, and that we start this exhibition here in Greenwich and at the Bruce Museum and in the United States.
Dallet studied these big cats in the wild in order to paint them true to life.
It was very hard for him to acknowledge the fact that most of the animals he loved and that he had been drawing had just disappeared, vanished, gone. And for this was very quite unbearable for him.
Hermes artistic director Pierre-Alexis Dumas says Dallet showed emotions in his art through the eyes of the animals.
That emotion is our ability to feel. And what feeling do we have? We have empathy. Through his work, we suddenly have empathy for these animals that otherwise we ignore.
And now, even after his death, Dallet is helping bring awareness to the big cats he loved. Proceeds from an auction of his Hermes art will go to the big cat conservation organization Panthera.
Our mission is nothing less than to save all 38 species of wild cats and the ecosystems in which they live. By saving the big cats within their ecosystems, you save everything else which is encompassed within that habitat. It is, for all intents and purposes, one-stop shopping for landscape-wide conservation.
Fierce and Fragile will be on display from January 10th to March 13th, and during that time, general admission will be free. Hermes and Bruce Museum officials say this illustrates their commitment to the understanding and appreciation of art and science to a greater audience. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight.
If you go out to eat at a Greenwich restaurant or work at a Greenwich office building, there's a good chance that the fire department already has a plan on how it would fight a fire in that exact location. And today, I'm going to experience firsthand how the fire department does one of these pre-fire plans here at the Greenwich Sentinel office.
It's a great opportunity for our personnel to get into these buildings, to take a look around under normal conditions and learn.
During the pre-plan, firefighters answer over 100 questions about the property and look for things like emergency exits and controls for gas, electric, and water.
We're just trying to find the water shutoff, but I don't think it's down here.
All of the information is stored in this tablet that can perform many tasks such as GPS tracking, internet searches, and locating fire hydrants.
When they're en route here, they can tell where the hydrants are so they can plan their routes coming in to be able to establish a water supply.
The tablets make information easily accessible to firefighters during an emergency situation.
It pulls up all the information that we just typed in, and we have tabs here that I can hit to easily access, move through the program to get the pertinent information that I may need.
Pre-plans not only help firefighters prepare for emergencies, they allow them to become familiar with the Greenwich community.
We want our people out interacting with the business owners and building relationships, and it's a great opportunity. So I know that the firefighters have embraced it, and I hope the population at large or the business owners embrace it also.
And officials want to stress that these pre-plans are different than fire marshal inspections.
These people aren't there to do an inspection for code compliance. They are there to learn about the building, about any issues in the building that may prevent us from rescuing you or putting the fire out.
If you'd like to request one of these pre-fire plans, contact the fire department directly. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight. I'm Taylor Knight in the Greenwich Sentinel newsroom, and we are looking back on 2015 to see how Greenwich celebrated its history and remembered those gone too soon.
In December 2014, Selectman Dave Tice suddenly passed away. To honor the late Selectman, the town of Greenwich renamed this bridge over the Mianus River after him on his birthday, August 30th.
I know he's very, very proud, and I'm so proud of him. We just love giving back. It was our world, and he did a beautiful job. So I'm very, very thankful for everybody that came together and made this happen.
Every Memorial Day, Dave would line the bridge with American flags to celebrate veterans.
To him, this bridge, with the flags atop of it, represented everything that was good in America and his beloved town of Greenwich.
And a project 5 years in the making was completed in 2015. On the 14th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, the September 11th Memorial Greenwich at Coscob Park was unveiled in front of families and loved ones of those lost, local, state, and federal politicians, and the Greenwich community as a whole. The memorial is set atop a hill and is engraved with the names of 33 people with Greenwich ties who lost their lives on that tragic day.
We can take comfort in pride knowing the town's loved ones lost on 9/11 are being remembered at such a prized location.
Terrorists who struck on 9/11 hit the World Trade Center, and they hit the Pentagon, but they missed America. America is here today in this place, in this spirit, and most eloquently in the faces and voices of the families and loved ones who are here.
And 2015 marked the 375th anniversary of the town of Greenwich. This milestone birthday was celebrated all year long with a party at Innis Arden, historical bus tours, and a parade back in September.
We have the whole sphere of what makes a community vibrant, and I think that's the real beauty of today. And in celebrating the history, we can't lose sight of the history, and having the founders' descendants here with us is truly a special component of that.
I am an 11th generation lineal descendant of Elizabeth Feek, who purchased Greenwich Point from the Native Americans, and her husband, Robert Feek, who with Daniel Patrick purchased the land that we celebrate today.
The parade day also included the unveiling of an American flag the size of a basketball court. Sounds like a pretty good birthday to me. Reporting for the Greenwich Sentinel, I'm Taylor Knight.